Hey there, everybody, it's me, your buddy Dave, the host here at the Dark Stuff channel on YouTube. Thanks a lot for checking out my latest video. So there's this thread going around of people talking about lost 90s classics. And I'm sorry, I've lost track of who originated the thread, and I wasn't sure whether it was supposed to be just an album or a whole artist, so I figured the rules are pretty loose. So I'm going to put my entry in right here. Doing this 90s thing is so up my alley. You know, in fact, I could do like 100 of these in just a matter of days. I set up a whole side channel besides the dark stuff called my so-called 90s channel. I did it a few months ago. I set up the graphics and everything, and I was prepared to do only 90s videos. I still am. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but maybe this will kickstart that or whatever. So this is, I'm super amped about doing a video like this. All right, so my choice, I'm going to go with a band because they did have a pretty short career, so it's pretty easy to talk about in a quick video, is going to be this band, the Meices. They are a Bay Area pop-punk band from about 1990 to about 1997 when they ended up breaking up. I first got interested in the Meices, or I first found out about them in about 1993. I was living in Seattle, and I was trying to break into the music business, and I was working for this independent publicist, this woman named Jenny Body. She had been with Sub Pop back in the you know, the glory days of Nirvana and all that. Now she was out on her own, and one of her clients was Empty Records, which was a Seattle-based punk label. They had the Meices, and the first record that they put out was this first full-length album, and this is called Greatest Bible Stories Ever Told. What I really loved about the Meices when I first heard them was their similarity to the Replacements, especially earlier stuff like, you know, Hootenanny and Sorry Ma and stuff, when they had a little bit more of a punkier energy, because at that point, 91, well, the Replacements broke up in July of 91, but they had gotten significantly mellower by the end. The Meices kind of brought back that early Replacements energy. I got a bunch of 7-inches by them. Here's one. I got this one. Meices. Here's another one. Great cover. I have a t-shirt with this. I couldn't find it. I was digging around looking for it. Couldn't find it. Here's a split with a band called Corduroy. And then this is a split with Overwhelming Color Fast. So like, I just had a ton of records from these guys. And I absolutely thought they were the greatest. So because of my affiliation with this publicist, I started going, you know, I saw the Meices a couple of times, and there's a funny story affiliate. And I don't know the truth of this. I just think it's true. So the first song on the album is called That Good One. And Jenny, the publicist that I interned for or worked for, told me that they used to go to Meices shows and yell at the band, "Hey, play that good one. Play that good one," as like a joke. And so that's supposedly the origin of the title. And she is thanked on the record here. So, I mean, you know, could be. Okay, so after that brief stint with Empty Records, the band did sign to a major label, and they signed to London Records and put out this album called Tastes Like Chicken, which is the cover art, just, I loved it. You know, it was great. Now, you might have caught a little bit of seeing these guys at this time, because they did a video for Daddy's Gone to California, which is the single off the record. And it did get a little bit of attention because Ron Jeremy, former porn star, currently convicted rapist, was in the video. Now, nobody knew that he was this convicted rapist. This was 30 years ago. But at the time, just a, you know, pop icon, believe it or not, pop culture icon, and was showing up in music videos. And he was in this video. And then Beavis and Butthead, who were big cultural things about 94, 95, saw the video, and it did get played on Beavis and Butthead. So you might have seen them get a little attention for that. Don't know. It's funny, you know, the Meices got some positive attention for their affiliation with Ron Jeremy, who was in the video and got a lot of extra attention and all that. But right around the same time, maybe the year before, Mercury Rev did a video called Something for Joey off of their album Bosses. Or no, I think it was on Your Self-Esteem, one of those two albums. Anyways, Ron Jeremy appears in that video too, and the video never really got much play. But then they did another video, which was them playing in a park with a bunch of kids, like in Central Park in New York or something. And somehow one of the parents of those kids got wind that Mercury Rev did a video with Ron Jeremy, and they started freaking out. Oh my God, my kid's going to be in this video with Ron Jeremy. It was a totally different video, just FYI. Side note. This album was produced by Kurt Block from the band The Young Fresh Fellows and the Fastbacks. He also produced an Overwhelming Colorfast record. I refer back to a video that I have for them. And like in that Overwhelming Colorfast video where I did a early podcast on the band, same thing with the Meices. Like I said, the Dark Stuff dates back to about 2003, 2004, and initially it was a podcast. And I did interview Joe Reinecke, who's the guitar player, singer guy, for a series on obscure 90s bands.
Hey, this is Joe from the Meices, and you're listening to the Dark Stuff podcast.
The next record the band put out was this one called Dirty Bird, 1996, still on London. And this was produced by Gil Norton, who had just come off of working with the Foo Fighters. He'd worked with the Pixies, and this is like pretty big sounding production, exactly what the radio liked at that time in the 1990s. If you wanted to get on rock radio, you had to have this kind of big sound. It still had the Replacements vibe, it still had that, but it did have a certain polish. That's so Uncool should have been a smash hit. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. The closest thing you could find to them having any sort of hit would have been their cover of Ready, Steady, Go by, I think that's from Generation X, and it's on the soundtrack to Empire Records. And currently, to find this band's music, you're going to have to be lucky and find it out in the wild, or the first one, Greatest Bible Stories Ever Told, is the only thing that's on the streamers right now. So YouTube, you can probably find it, but in terms of actually, any of the streaming, only that one album is there. The two major label albums are not. So, I interviewed Joe from the Meices about maybe 2009 or so. I don't exactly remember when I did it, but for the old original Dark Stuff podcast. And that, of course, is gone. And I found the audio, I should say, and I don't know, I may recondition that and put it back up. I guess we'll see what the response is to this video or whatever. But anyways, so all right, I'll wrap it up here, but just saying, if you do like bands that kind of sound like an early Replacements, early Soul Asylum, that kind of Minneapolis vibe with just a little bit more punked up energy, you might want to look into the Meices. And if you just are going to go on streaming, the only one you're going to find is this one, The Greatest Bible Stories Ever Told. However, that is awesome. I mean, it's got song Alex Put Something in His Pocket is awesome. La La Land is great. Don't Let the Soap Run Out. Hey Little Punker, Keep on Punkin'. I mean, nothing but classics. But anyways, that's my contribution to the thread, the Meices. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.